Hello everyone, my name is Blackwatch and welcome to another episode of my Siege lore series. Got a question for you. Who really killed Yahata? We just don't know, honestly. And from the Solar Raid animation, I think it's pretty clear now that Nighthaven are not directly responsible. I put my hands up. I do apologise, Nighthaven fans. I know that I've been ragging on you pretty badly. Now, I'm not going to come out here and say that it was entirely unjustified, because I don't think it was. I think the Nighthaven have a particular attitude that I find quite abrasive, but that's okay. That's fine. Instead, we now know that the hit was conducted by someone who had knowledge of Nighthaven's not so pleasant relationship with Rainbow. At least it would seem that way, but that doesn't address a couple of points that I've been thinking of. So let's break it down, issue by issue, point by point, and try and figure out who the hell actually pulled the trigger on Yahata, or not so much pulled the trigger, but, organised the pulling of the trigger. So, Yahata was the head of a firm that was leading the way in cybersecurity, causing issues for organised crime, rival military groups, all the bad guys in all the bad places of the world, basically because the networks of the national military and the law enforcement groups were all secure. Yahata's death weakened this and left those systems vulnerable to attack, and it triggered a wide wave of organised crime across the world. Specifically in South America, there was quite an intense concentration of antique smuggling and presumably lots of other criminal activities that we'd probably rather not actually think about in the context of the real world. Nighthaven would have stood to gain from this because it would have left them as one of the only private companies available to fill the gap that was left by the other groups that would be in disarray as a result of these attacks. You knock out the competition, you step in to fill that gap, you make a lot of money. It's basic profiteering stuff. However, we also know that this would likely pull Rainbow in because they already had concerns about Nighthaven's actions in the world. They've been monitoring them. They didn't like what they were seeing. It's part of the reason why they recruited them in the first place, was to keep them in check. And obviously now that the split had taken place, it was pretty clear that they were going to be continuing to monitor that situation. In addition to that, we know that Azami had a strong relationship with Hibana and would turn to her for help with a mutual enemy. As a result, we now have motive from Nighthaven. We have interest in the offending party for two different reasons from Rainbow. And so the conclusion was drawn. So now we ask, who would stand to benefit from this, and who could have access to information of that depth outside of Rainbow and outside of Nighthaven? If we assume that the Shadow player is hoping to benefit from the disruption of all the military and law enforcement stuff going on globally, then Nighthaven and Rainbow's specific deception would be pretty incidental to them. But to deliberately tie Nighthaven into the hit, and to use it as a means to ambush Rainbow operators, suggests to me that the third party has intimate knowledge of, at the very least, Rainbow's interest in Nighthaven, and more than likely knowledge of the individual operators, knowing that Azami would turn to Hibana and lock in Rainbow's action. Whoever this is, they want Nighthaven and Rainbow at war, and they stand to benefit from that conflict. Now, I'm not certain of this, but I have a feeling that Nighthaven's inclusion as one of the squads wasn't a coincidence. And I think it was actually foreshadowing for a united front that's going to face down whatever threat they're actually dealing with here. Because I think this is outside of Nighthaven and outside of Rainbow. Not necessarily completely outside. I think organisationally it's outside, but I have a feeling there's probably some eyes in both sides that are feeding this information to this third party and organising this problem. But as I say, I think the fact that they included Nighthaven as one of the squads that was to be fleshed out and showcased in the sort of early explanation of what was coming in the lore makes me think that they're there because they're going to be working together again. That is, Rainbow's squads and Nighthaven as one of those squads. Again, I don't think it's going to be the way it was before. I think Nighthaven will still be its own independent thing. But I do think that they're all going to team up to take on whoever this bad guy is. Whoever the bad guy is, we just don't know. We're not going to find out for a while. All I know, again, is that they've got a lot of info about both sides. And I think they've got some eyes there. We'll see. It's exciting stuff. Rainbow is heating up. We're going to see some more spicy things in the future. Looking forward to the comic this season. I think this is going to be a good one. And very much looking forward to the CGI at the 6th Invitational. That's going to be massive. So if you want to see more videos in the build up to that, talking about the lore, talking about all the different things, the little things you didn't even know you wanted to know, this is the place to be, people. Subscribe to PRD Blackwatch. Me, your guy, your best mate, probably not, but definitely a mate anyway. And I'll catch you in the next one. Dopo bacino, everybody. Hope you're having a good week so far. Bye bye.